Good afternoon, YouTubers. Tsquare Talk. With everything going on with quarantine, I've been talking to a lot of people that just have not made, they don't cook much, they eat out all the time. So I kind of wanted to start doing up some videos on just cooking some basic stuff. Not anything fancy. We have some really fancy recipes. We'll put some links at the end so you can just click on one of the cool recipes and try that out. But if you're just looking to cook something basic, this is an item you can find almost at any grocery store. This is beef stroganoff. It's super easy. You don't really need much. This box is a 99-cent item. All you're really going to need is some milk, some water, and a little bit of hamburger meat. So this is, I'm telling you, this is going to be about the simplest thing. You can use ground turkey, ground pork if you don't want to use hamburger, or you can just stick to the basic recipe and go with the beef. So with that being said, we're going to get this started and let's try it out. Okay, so the first thing the recipe calls for is some hamburger meat. You can use previously frozen, just make sure it's all thawed out. I happen to have some fresh ground meat today. However, that's going to get harder and harder with everything going into kind of quarantine. It's getting harder and harder to find fresh stores, kind of getting basically wiped out by people. So all we're going to do is we're going to continue to get this cooked, mash it, stir it, and keep moving it around the pan. You don't want it to burn on the bottom. I have it on high right now. I'm actually going to drop my heat down just a little bit. I just wanted to kind of speed up the time to get my pan ready. Keep stirring it up as much as possible. You don't want it all sticking to the bottom. And we'll come right back. Now, this is not hard. All you got to do, just keep moving it around the pan, and it will eventually cook all the way through to where you don't see any red. As you can see, as it starts cooking down, it will start breaking up, separated more. You'll start seeing more brown, less red, and then you just keep it going. And this ain't going to take super long, so keep making sure you stir it. Within about 5 minutes, this is going to be cooked up, assuming that it was properly thawed out. Make sure you did thaw your meat out. Put it in the fridge if it was previously frozen for like the day before. Or you can use the thaw option on the microwave if you are a microwave person. Okay, so as you can see, there's not much grease in this because I used a less greasier hamburger. Basically more pure, mostly meat, not fat. However, if it is greasy, go ahead and drain out that grease. Okay, so I am going to be doubling my whole recipe. So I already have 2 pounds of hamburger in here. I'm going to basically add in a whole cup of hot water and 4.5 cups of milk. Now, if you don't have 2% milk, that's okay. Just use some other kind of milk. It's not going to really hurt the recipe. It's going to be more creamier if you do. I do spread everything out a little bit. That way I can kind of get everything mixed right in the middle, kind of. So let's get going. So 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup, 4 cup, and a half. And it don't have to be dead on accurate exact. It does help if you stay as close as you can. Next thing we're going to do is throw the noodles in there. Now the noodles, you just rip the pack open and dump them in. And then get your heat coming back up because that milk was kind of cold. So now the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to add the 2 cups of water in there. Now you want your water to be warm, although this is going to actually heat up anyway. So there's 1 cup of water. And let's see here. And then now it's just going to be a matter of dumping in the packets. The packets are basically like a powdered cheese. Not anything super fancy. If you're doing this from scratch, this would be awesome. I do sometimes make this same recipe, but not using powder. However, It's getting harder and harder to find certain items with quarantine in effect. Even if you prepare for yourself, and you're basically more self-reliant. I don't have a cow in my backyard, so when it comes to stuff like milk, you kind of basically just got to kind of roll with it. Now, it's going to seem like a lot at first. You're going to just kind of keep mixing it. Increase your heat. I'm putting my heat back on high. That way I can kind of get this simmering and boiling. I'm going to continue to stir up stuff. Now, the thing is, the liquid, the milk, the water, all that stuff, that's going to kind of cook that pasta a little bit more, so it'll be nice and cooked. And we'll come right back, and I'll show you guys what it looks like as I just keep mixing this up. So as you can see right now, everything is all mixed in there good. The noodles are mostly submerged under the milk and water. The cheese packet's mixed in. So now all I got to do is just kind of let it heat back up. And as it heats up, that's also going to be cooking in the noodles. And this is going to be simple. So let's just get this, bring it back up to a boil, and we'll keep stirring. Now make sure you do keep stirring it. That way everything gets moving around in there. You can already see some bubbles starting to form up. So we want to make sure we keep stirring this in, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, as you can see, I have been stirring it. Now I am going to bring it all the way down to simmer. I'm going to give it one last stir in. And you'll notice that this is starting to thicken. Starting to get a little thicker. The noodles are getting a little bit softer. Super easy meal for under $5. A lot of people that have not cooked much, it's a whole lot cheaper. You're going to save so much money. And then all I'm going to do is I have it set on simmer. If you don't have a cover that will fit over the pan, you can just use a easy. That's what I do when I want to cover something. That will keep the heat in. And now it's just a matter of wait to give it 10 minutes of simmering, and then we'll be right back. Okay, after you've been simmering for about 5 minutes, you're going to take this off, and you're just going to give it a good stir. Get everything stirred in there one more time. That's going to move the pasta around if there's any areas that it's not fully cooked. This is actually starting to look delicious. So, especially when you think about the time that it took me to make this, I think the video is probably going to be right around 10 minutes. However, it really only took about 15 minutes to make. This is super easy to do, and you gotta definitely a lot cheaper than eating out. So you wait when this is done, what this looks like. So cover it back up, and we're going to let it simmer for the rest of the 10 minutes, which will be 5 more minutes, and we'll be back at the end. Okay, so it has been simmering for the full 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead, take the cover off, give it one more final stir in. Tell me that does not look delicious. We're going to get this on a plate, plated up, and we'll show you guys what the finished product looks like. So I did double the recipe. That made 12 servings as opposed to 6. But had you bought this, it was only $1 for 6 servings, plus about another $2.50 for the hamburger meat. Super easy. You're talking under $5 to feed a family. I recommend you guys try it out. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up. Please help hit that subscribe button. It helps us grow the channel. And try out one of these other great recipes, either on the right or the left. I recommend the Texas peppers. Them are the bomb. So that's assuming you're not in quarantine and you can get stuff. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys again on Tsquare Talk. Take care.